again, we're quite small. I mean, we may be expanding a little bit, but I tend to be very, very selective about stuff, and it tends to be referred to people that I know. But after a while, you kind of get a pretty good feel for things, and you have an initial chat with somebody if it's something that would be interesting. But maybe it's just me. I don't see a lot of stuff that I would put money in personally. But I talk to lots and lots of startups, and I give a lot of free advice to startups and spend a lot of time. But for me to deploy money, because it's not other people's money, it's my money and my partner's money and money that I'm bringing in from people who trust me. So I can't afford to make bad bets, right? But it'll be referrals. I go to some events as well, but it's usually something I see once every 6 months, right?
Yeah, like in Hong Kong, business angel network, we have around 10 deals per month or every 2 months. And may or may not be the original deal because maybe they are having the pitching in others events. But that is one of the connections to join some association like that. While other channel is there's a lot of referral from those angels fans, because once you co-invest with others, they will try to have deal flow to invest to introduce it to you, and also introduce from those startups that I have met before. And I think that is quite useful if you have a good advice, good even you don't invest, you bring them up with some connections. Eventually, they will have some fans will introduce back to you some good deals.
For us, for my work, we actually come knocking at your door. We track heavily on basically all the lists, Crunchbase, Product Hunt, AngelList, CB Insights, and every week we have a weekly review on the metrics we lay out for the different startups. If I see your social influence level is increasing and people become more aware, we will start to approach you and basically just send a cold call or cold email saying we want to meet.
If you proven yourself a smart guy, and I think someone will write you a check for maybe $500,000, that kind of thing. But if you need more bigger amounts, then you need to prove something. Find a niche market or find similar thing you show to look that you can open up and get customer and get what you want. And I think it's hard to get big money unless you do have, for example, some protection, patent to definitely protect your idea. Yeah, because everything is new.
Well, first of all, are you sure that you create a new market? Yeah, you really have to look hard to make sure that you create a new market before you initiate that pitch, or that'll be very hard sell, I think.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's not new market, it's going into new markets where people haven't gone. As mentioned, my last company is heavily focused on emerging Asia. We're going into Pakistan and second, third tier India and other places where those are new markets. Yeah, North Korea. Yeah, selling nukes there. But to be honest, I mean, we're all talking about investors and all that. The best thing you can do is avoid us as long as you can, right? And then you approach investors from a position of strength. Getting good angels on and all that stuff. And I'm sure you guys are probably good, but you still want to get to the position where you're chasing this company with several other VCs, so then you get the best deal. If you go to them in a position of weakness, you could potentially be done, right? But then again, you could also fix them if they have some problems, right? But you may be the nice ones. A lot are not as nice. A lot of VCs have an approach where they'll just triage the weak and off you go, right?
The funniest pitch we get is actually extremely high valuations, which I understand a lot of people get the news from TechCrunch, etc. And the Series A in Asia is very different than the Series A in US. A 30 million Series A is unheard of, does not exist in Hong Kong. Especially your only operational market is in Hong Kong. I think just have reality checks, please justify evaluation, and yeah, that's my tips.
And one of the pitching that I have is a competitions pitching is from Singapore, and the first pitching they're pitching very good and about a hardware thing. While the second pitching also a Singapore team, definitely they are keeping the same pattern. they make them very embarrassing, yeah, because both of them they think, this is their pattern, and eventually we found out that because they are licensing the same pattern from their mentor. But I think they had to be more professional. Once they came, they had to prove that they are exclusive or whatever. I think that will make it very embarrassing because after that they had to say negotiate and this and that and talk again so that they revise again. And I think that is really embarrassing. Yeah.
Now, there's one entrepreneur that I like a lot, and I follow him every once in a while, and he meets up with me, and he came back from China, and he's raised money at some outrageous valuation. So we're chatting. I said, "What's the valuation?" And he told me the number, and I just said, pardon my French, I said, "You," and he just laughed, and he knew. I mean, but to me, that's a good and a bad thing. I mean, he's raised it at this high valuation, but to me, it's madness. When you get it, you think you're suddenly paper rich, but you're never going to meet the expectations that are attached to that. So that's, for me, whatever the expectations you as the entrepreneur are setting, make sure they are in line with something you can achieve. And that's one of the biggest. A lot of people raising at these crazy valuations means nothing. Or if you say, I'm going to hit this as sales targets, whatever you're going to tell me, try to make sure to hit it.